how to get better at Eggwars. Alright, starting off nice and simple, you're gonna have, always keep some protection near your egg. Doesn't matter if it's just some plant andesite or anything else. Keep protection at your egg at all times so it doesn't get broken. It can easily be broken, but still, something is better than nothing, and it always will be that way. No matter how much. And earlier on, all you really need is andesite. You know, that's good enough. Like I placed right on my egg. But later on, things like obsidian are definitely preferable. You want obsidian over andesite, of course. But say you have andesite and you can't afford obsidian, then if you think andesite is too weak and you can't afford obsidian, then buy like terracotta or whatever it's called. Clay. Buy some clay. And going on to tip number 2, don't rush people with better equipment than you. Okay, this one might seem like a more obvious idea, but if you have a chainmail armor, don't go rushing someone who has something like iron armor, diamond armor, any armor better than yours. Don't rush them. If they rush you, then try running. But if you can't run and you're on if they're going after your egg and you can't run, then just don't go after them, don't rush them, but let them come to you. Like, say I was right on the edge of the map, like right here. You hit them off the map. Try hitting them off the map. So, yeah, if somebody has better equipment than you, you do not want to rush them. And say if your teammate has the same equipment as them, then still don't rush them. Get your teammate to help you. And if you and your teammate are rushing, then say you and your teammate both have chainmail and your enemy has one person and they have iron armor, then that might be an okay situation to go into. If somebody has chainmail, like if somebody has chainmail and you and your teammate have leather, still don't rush them. But if they rush you, then you can go after them, because if you and your teammate are good players, then I would go after them if I were you, because chainmail isn't much stronger than your leather, but it's a little bit stronger. So at that point it's all up to the player. If you're not a good player, then you're not going to succeed. And tip number 3, when you're going after someone's egg, build up around like 5 to 12 blocks to defend yourself from your opponent. You don't just want to rush them on the ground. You want to build up like 5 to 12 blocks, just build up. It's known as blocking up, and see like what he's doing right there? It's called blocking up, and it will help you. 9 times out of 10 it will help you. If they block up to counter your block up, they often do that, so expect that. Don't just block up and expect them not to block up. They are probably going to block up, and if they do, then just keep blocking up. You want to be above them, higher than them. And if you are, this will put you in a better position to collect their egg or kill them. And tip number 4. When playing duos, always have one player stay at base. You do not want to have you don't want to have both your players rushing unless you're going after another player's egg. And not even in that situation should you be having a person away from that egg unless you're completely sure. And have one of your teammates in this also works in squads or teams of 4, whatever you call it. This also works in teams of 4, but in that situation you have 2 people at your egg because there's more people. If you're playing duos and both of you are rushing another person's egg, that's leaving your egg vulnerable to other players. So unless it's only like one other team, don't make sure that there's always one person at the egg at all times. Because that, if, like I said, if you're not at your egg, you are vulnerable. Both of you are, your teammate and you are very vulnerable to having your egg destroyed. Just, it's not a very good idea. Trust me, this is coming from experience. I'm not the best, but I know what I'm doing. Alright, tip number 5, and the last tip apart from the honorable mentions. Go for middle of the map and collect as many diamonds as possible early on. This also applies for gold too. Early on, you want to go to the diamonds and just rush diamonds. You want diamonds. Like, the beginning of the game is the time where diamonds are the most important. So if you don't have diamonds in the middle of the game, you're probably not going to get them at any point in the game. Because, like, I messed up the game that I'm playing right now. I messed up by not going to get diamonds earlier on while I had the chance. See, because cyan, light blue, whatever you call them, they have diamonds. They are very non-vulnerable. They are very, very strong, very good player, very good equipment. You wouldn't want to rush them. You don't want to rush another player who has diamonds earlier on, by the way. You want to get those diamonds earlier on so that you'll be the player that people don't want to rush. Alright, and coming on to a few honorable mentions. We actually do have more time. We do have some time, so there will be quite a few honorable mentions. Alright, honorable mention number 1. Always, and I mean always use the builder loadout, whatever you call it, preset, whatever. Always use the builder loadout, whatever it's called. It is the best by far. It will help you get diamonds earlier on. And remember, from the last tip, you want diamonds early on. Diamonds are the most crucial part of the game. And if you don't have diamonds, then you don't have a chance of winning the game. If you're not like the game I'm playing, I have like no chance of winning at all. And when being attacked by another player, diamonds are definitely going to help you out with that much better equipment. And overpowered diamonds are much more crucial because you can... I played with that guy earlier on. Because diamonds are much more crucial because you can get diamond armor. That doesn't exist in casual, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in normal, but it does exist in overpowered diamond armor. Alright, moving on to the next game. Honorable mention number 2. Combat skills are key. If you have the best equipment and the worst combat skills, people with like the worst combat skills and the best, the best combat skills and the worst equipment will be beating you. If you don't know how to float people, or don't know how to hit people accurately, or don't know how to use a bow, or bow spam, then you are going to be very vulnerable to losing games, and being very vulnerable to other players, because a lot of other players know how to do that stuff. And they will have an advantage over you by being able to, kill you. They're going to have much better combat skills than you. And the only advantage you're going to have is better equipment. Or even if you have the same equipment and they have better combat skills, then they're obviously going to win that fight. But if you are a good player with good combat skills, you are you're good, you're golden, you get good equipment, you are gonna win the game. Honestly, equipment isn't even the most important thing. If you have decent combat skills and you have the best equipment, then you're definitely set up to win. You're in a good setup to win. Alright, that's all my talking time. Thank you all for watching.